Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans, and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist, and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health and fitness, body, and your mindset from where you are right now to where it is that you want to be. And here we are on day 3 of the new year in 2021, and I'm going to continue on the theme we've followed for the last couple of days, really setting you up in this first week of the new year for success for your health and fitness, and enabling you to be able to achieve that body you really want for yourself this year. Not only the health, the inner health, but also that outside, that exterior that you want for yourself as well. So if this is the first recording that you're listening to, I need you to go back 2 days to the one called The Naked Truth. Do that exercise completely first, and then follow through in sequence to day 2, which is talking about what it is that you want, why it is that you want it right now, why it's a must for you, what it's going to cost you if you don't do this right now. Because all of these things that I'm getting you to do each day, and there is some more homework again today, is to imagine they're like links in the chain. If you don't put all the links together, then the chain is broken. So we've got to make sure that all these things fit together. Now, I do understand, based on clients that I've coached in the past, that you may not necessarily see right now why I'm asking you to do these specific tasks. Like, you go back to day 1, the naked truth, and you may be like, why the heck do I need to do this? Trust me, go through the exercise, the same as day 2. Now, day 3, today, what we're talking about is a goal setting. So I know the goal setting gets thrown around a lot, but what we need to do is take what you've done from day 2, what it is that you want, and we need to dig a little bit deeper here, and we need to articulate it in a way that is going to lay the foundations for the next 12 months, the next 90 days for you. I like to break things down into 90-day chunks, so 4 lots of 90 days through the year, to help you stay focused for a period of like 12 weeks is really quite manageable for people. And so then we can reset, move to that next level, and take it and bring it home with the last quarter of the year. Now, goal setting is very much a science, okay? We need to make sure that we do this really thoroughly, because if you don't do this properly, I'm sure you've started a year and you've said, okay, these are the things that I want to achieve. And by, who knows, maybe it's after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 8 weeks, the end of the year, say, oh yeah, remember what I made that New Year's resolution last year? I said I was going to do that last year, whether you made it at New Year's or whatever. And they said, oh yeah, COVID came along, work got too busy, I had to homeschool, I had to do X, Y, Z. And before you know it, you've just put it to one side. And again, I would suggest if you've done that in this last 12 months, then that's probably a pattern there of behaviors and conversations and stories that you tell yourself as to why you are where you are right now and why you can't have something different. So let's put all that to one side and let's make 2021 completely different and to any other year, and let's make it your best year yet. And so many people that I coach have never done these tasks before. So writing down your goals, being really articulate about what it is that you want for yourself, for your body transformation over this next 12 months. I'm going to ask you a series of questions in a moment, and I want you to answer each one of them. So again, I'm going to try and keep this fairly short today so that you've got some extra time, say maybe take another 10, 15 minutes, maybe longer if you need to really clearly define what it is that you are going to achieve for this next 12 months. And then once you've got it, you need to have your goal up in multiple places. You need to have it on your phone. You need to have it, like mine are on my mirror in my ensuite upstairs. I'll have them around me in my office. Sometimes I have them in my studio. I've got my reminders of the main rooms that I go to in my house where I spend all of my days. I have reminders of what it is that I want to achieve in a variety of different ways. Some of them are sounds, some of them are visuals, some of them are, kinesthetic things. But the key is to be really, really clear on what it is that you want. So the first thing I'm going to say to you is that your goals, we've all heard about the SMART principles, like being specific, measurable, etc. The one that I want to hone in on right now is about being measurable. You must set some goals that are very, very measurable. Okay. And I say very, very measurable, and say, well, they're either measurable or they're not. Well, that's true. But I want to really hone in on this point, because so many people say, oh, I want to feel this way. I want to feel good about who I am, or, a size isn't important to me. I just want to feel this way. Well, unfortunately, that isn't measurable. And the people that come in to see me that start off that way, I say, look, this isn't going to work for you. If you keep focusing on, just ignore that background noise. It's my phone ringing in another room. If you aren't so focused on exactly what it is that you want for right now, and you can't measure that in some way, people that are wishy-washy, they stay where they are. Okay. And then they come up with a new story that, oh, well, now look, I feel better, and, this, that, and the other, but they haven't really achieved what they set out to achieve. So what I want you to do is come up with something that's measurable. Now, let me give you some indicators as to what that might be. So for me personally, it was never about the weight. If I'm talking about my 2020 transformation, my 2021 transformation, I'll tell you about that in a second. But 2020, it was never about a weight. Like, the number on the scales did not matter to me. What I wanted to do was drop my body fat percentage. And my coach and I talked about single digit body fat percentages to get down to from where I was. And then it came down to the photos that I was sending to my coach each week, so that we could see where the definition was, where we wanted to see the change. And then it came down to me putting in the work. So making sure that I had the exercises to support the changes that I wanted, the food to support the changes that I wanted to. But the measurable things I wanted was reduce body fat, single digit, and also to achieve certain measurements around my body, those certain changes. And the rest of it was measurable in terms of the visual, the aesthetics. I needed to see deeper grooves in my six pack. So for you, it could be, if you're ladies, sometimes it could be the kilos, sometimes it could be the dress size that you're after. For men, it could be kilos, it could be certain measurements, it could be, again, for you, it could be body fat percentage. Whatever it is for you, I want you to come up with some things that are going to be measurable and important for you. And we're going to use these things to help drive you to success. Because if I didn't have anything measurable this year or last year, how do I know what it is that I'm aiming for? I don't, is the answer. I'm just going through the motions. I don't know the meals that I'm eating and the exercise that I'm doing. I really don't know what they're working towards. And so with your transformation, it's going to require change. It's going to require commitment from you. So therefore, we need to make sure that this is another link in the chain. You know exactly what you're aiming for, and it's measurable. Because as soon as it's not measurable, some days you say, if it's going to be feeling good, and you say, well, today I feel good, tomorrow I feel like crap. So therefore, it's not working. But it might be one day out of the 365, and it's the last day where you feel horrible and you say, oh, well, the year's been a waste. But that hasn't been true, because you've laid the foundations for so many good lifestyle changes, et cetera, et cetera. So I want you to come up with what it is for you. Maybe it's centimeters lost. Maybe it's kilos muscle gain. Maybe it's a body fat percentage, which I would measure just through a DEXA scan, DEXA scan. I would use that. It's the most reliable, and you can get to see where the body fat is on your body. I wouldn't use bioimpedance measurements. They're just not accurate. So there's those things. There's your body weight, centimeters gained if it's muscle. It could be around, say, fitness. So it might be something like the beat test. It might be strength testing, like the number of push-ups that you complete in a minute, the number of squats you complete in a minute, how long can you hold your plank. I mean, I use a series of things to test people on. You can come up with your own tests, or you can get in touch with me through the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, and I can give you the full details of what we do with our clients here. The point is, you need to find something that is measurable. Now, what I want you to do is also then write down, so what are these things that are achievable for you? Okay, I want you to stretch yourself, but I don't want you to make it so hard that it just becomes unachievable for you, because then that is not going to inspire you. That's not going to drive you. Like for me, for instance, if my goal was to win a gold medal in the pole vault at the Tokyo Olympics this year, well, okay, given my height and I've never pole vaulted before, that's probably unlikely to happen. So that's going to be a fairly disappointing goal for me to set for myself. So for me, the goals that I'm setting for myself over this next 12 months is to gain between 2-3 kilos of muscle, and to really increase the my upper body size, so muscle size. So to really create that V taper for me to match my legs. So my legs are my strongest point. And so I need to get more on my shoulders, get more through the chest, more on the arms, more through my lats, so to give you that V diamond sort of shape. That's what my goal is for this year. So the measure there, 2 to 3 to 4 kilos of muscle and body fat percentage into single digits. So somewhere around 8%, 6, 7, 8%, something like that. So they're my goals, and they're measurable. So make them challenging, but don't make them impossible. Stretch yourself. Last year, for me, it was about achieving something that I'd never, ever achieved before at age 52. So if I can do it, you can do it. So challenge yourself. Now, here's the thing. Even though I've said take 15 minutes to do these tasks, it probably took me months to come up with what it was that I actually wanted to do. So I consider myself an athlete, but I'm not a competitive athlete. So if you're not a competitive athlete, you don't have those constant events coming up. That can be the biggest challenge for people that aren't competitive athletes, to say, what's that thing that I'm going to aim for? What's going to drive me this year? Okay. Now, the next thing you need to do is I want you to set a deadline for yourself, a deadline when you want to achieve these goals by. So for me, it was the 12th and the 19th of November, 2020. That was my goal. 12th of November was the final date I could take the photos. The 19th of November was the date that I could do my final submission of my entry into the IsoBody Challenge last year. So they were my key dates. This year, I haven't actually determined the end date yet. I want to talk to my coach in the over this next week or so that we can work out exactly what my program is going to look like this year, and which date I'm going to aim for. There's probably 3 dates to aim for based on the 16-week challenges that I enter. So I'll just talk to him about which one is the right one for me to go for. So a deadline is really, really important. Next question I want you to ask yourself, and you've got to write these things down, right? Why have you failed to achieve this in the past? What stopped you in the past? Now, I did talk about some of this yesterday, but I want you to get really specific. What stopped you? What were the stories that you were telling yourself? What were the excuses that you gave to yourself? And be tough on yourself. Don't pussyfoot around and say, oh, well, it was because of, I was just busy at work and etc. And so I just didn't have the time for it. When it comes to things like that, you've made the decision, right? You've made the choice, and you've got to own that. You're a clever person. Okay, you can multitask. So you can be busy and you can achieve other things at the same time. So let's put the focus in this as well as the other things this year, and stop making up excuses as to why you can't achieve what it is that you really want. Go back a couple of steps. I said, make it really challenging, right? So make it challenging, and then write those list of things. Why haven't you achieved it till now? Put everything down, put it all down. Now, I want you to next write down what are all the things that you must stop doing immediately, because they're going to stop you from achieving what it is that you want. So what are all those things that you have to stop doing immediately? For instance, it might be you have to stop eating chocolate every night, for instance. You have to stop drinking, a couple of cans of soft drinks, soda each day. You have to stop having so much takeaway. You have to stop eating, associating with certain groups of people around food, because whenever you do, it's always pizza, or it's always something that you know is not serving your body. Think about all those things, about what you have to stop doing, And then you probably know what's coming. Write a list of what are all the things that you have to start doing immediately. And that might be clean out the pantry, clean out the fridge, clean out the freezer, start preparing your meals on a weekend for the week ahead. Start making sure that you've got plenty of plant-based food in the fridge, in the freezer, those kinds of things. What do you have to start doing? Then what I want you to write down is put yourself in a place of having achieved your goal. So you need to get in the right state in your mind as to what that's going to feel like. Maybe close your eyes, put on some inspiring music and say, okay, I've achieved that goal. What's that going to feel like for you when you've achieved that goal? And I want you to list down as many things as you can. Just take a couple of minutes for each one of these questions. Write down, what's that going to mean to you? How's that going to feel when you achieve that? Really, really important. Then I want you to write down, when you do achieve this goal, how are you going to celebrate? What are you going to do to celebrate? Because that's like this carrot, and knowing that, do you know what, once I get to that body shape, I'm going to feel amazing. Maybe the reward is a professional photo shoot. Maybe it's a holiday. Maybe it's a weekend away to, with you and your partner, or just you and your guy mates or girlfriends or whatever, to go to a spa center, treat yourself. Maybe it's a golf weekend, whatever. You come up with what it is that for you is going to be a real celebration. Okay. That's all the homework I've got for you. Now, really important steps, and you'll start to see as we progress, all of these things are starting to link together. Okay. Write all those things down. Tomorrow, we're going to take this to the next level. But for right now, I just need you to do this first part. Come up with what it is that's going to really challenge you this year, really articulate those goals. And then we're going to break it down into 90-day chunks tomorrow. So that's your homework. Go off and do it now. Stay safe wherever you are in the world. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.